Hey everyone, Luminous Plasma here, and today we're going to be taking a look at this $40.50 iPhone 6. Now this previously was on iOS 8.3, but it was jailbroken, and when I tried to restore it to factory settings, it started crashing and flickering on a blue screen. So I did plenty of research and nothing helped, so I had to do the unthinkable. I restored it to the latest firmware. Now, this iPhone was listed as no power and no iCloud locked, but I later found out that it was because of a dead battery and the LCD was cracked as well as the glass. So, first up, we're going to be removing the two screws on the bottom of the iPhone. And we're going to be taking a spudger and going along the border of the iPhone to pry up the screen from the frame of the case. And look at all that junk in the phone, it's disgusting. That thing would overheat if I left it in there. But before we get to cleaning, we're going to be removing these 5 screws that hold on the bracket that covers all the flex cables underneath, most importantly the ones that are holding down the screen, so we can easily clean the phone. So now that we got the screen off, we can use some compressed air and some circular motions to blow out all that debris. So here I got this old iPhone 6 screen from a previous repair, and I'm going to be using it to test to see if the phone even holds a charge and or powers on. Now as you can see, it has a dead battery logo, but later it has the Apple logo, but after hours of letting it charge, it did not work, so I think the battery is also dead. So we're going to disconnect the screen and replace the battery. So next is to remove the 2 screws on the battery bracket and then pry up on the battery connector from the motherboard, and then carefully wiggle out all this adhesive from underneath the battery using tweezers and all this stuff. Just be very careful because you have to do it at a specific angle or else it'll rip and you'll have a horrible time. So next up on the restoration process, we're going to be removing this massive dent from the frame of this phone. We are going to be using a hammer for this method, and this may not seem safe or being careful with the iPhone, but I assure you this works and it is very effective. Taking a closer look at the phone, we can actually see that it's a little bent, but it is a lot better than it previously was. Now this mute switch is actually stuck, like it won't move at all, and a closer inspection shows that there is actually debris stuck in the mute switch, so I'm using this fine pick here to scrape out all the debris, and now it works perfectly. Here's the fun part, the dock connector. This thing is so gummed up, I thought I'd have to replace it, but I really didn't want to, so I attempted to clean it. I used isopropyl alcohol to clean the contacts of the lightning cable as well as the charging port itself, and to see if I could scrape out any debris. And when that didn't work, I went back to the fine tipped pick to see if I could scrape out anything, as well as compressed air. And the combination of all 3 seemed to be the key. Now it sits completely flush against the iPhone housing. And for the final step to remove the last of the debris, I went around the border of the iPhone where the screen would sit and scraped away all the debris, and look at that, that is just disgusting. And now we can install the battery. I used double-sided tape off camera to hold it in, but that's probably not the best choice because later on I'll be investing in OEM style double-sided adhesive strips. And for one final test, we're going to be using the old screen to see if the battery holds a charge, and it does. And apparently the previous owner did not wipe their phone, and it does say Country Life instead of Slide to Unlock, so I'm assuming it is jailbroken. And if we do slide to unlock, the owner still has all his old stuff on there, so we probably should wipe that as soon as possible. So now I got the new screen in, and there's a random piece of crumpled up paper, but besides that, it's rubber banded together to protect the cables from bending and breaking. And now to transfer over all the parts. No, it don't matter what we've been told. I can see the skies are gold. Yeah, it's just you and me in open road. Let's go. Now we can just seal back up the phone by putting on the display ribbon cable bracket. There's 5 screws for that as well. And last but not least is the battery connector bracket, and there's just 2 screws for that. Now we can remove the film. This is the most satisfying part. A job well done. But now the phone is still boot looping. As I said in the intro, I had to restore it to factory settings, unfortunately. So the screen was a little crappy. I mean, I barely touched it, and it flexes, and also white dots were starting to form on the top of the LCD. I also modified an iPhone 7 case to properly fit an iPhone 6, and I hope you guys are enjoying my videos, and comment down below if you want to see more iPhone repair videos, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.